need a showing for the song playing. They are quite nice very often. Actually, Bashkirian, for a long time I couldn't do that. And now I've got a new PC, which is not what I'm streaming on right now, don't worry. Now I've got a new PC, I actually can do it. So actually that's one of the things that's going to be added to the stream in the next week or so. So you guys can see the music in the breaks. It's crazy. It is crazy. So, as we enter to the bottom left hand side of the map, our blue Terran player is KeeN. And he's going up against the red Terran player. It's INnoVation to the bottom right hand side. Use the Wardy coupon to get a rewardie. It's kind of funny, I actually used to call myself Wardy coupon. It was my nickname for a little while. On certain places, certain websites, you know, it was like my username. Wardy coupon. I don't know why. I think I said I sat with a friend one day. I had to make something, and I was like, "Hey mate, what should I say?" Wardy's taking. He's like, coupon. I was like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "I've got a coupon in my hand. Call yourself Wardy coupon." So I called myself Wardy coupon for a while. That was a thing. That was a phase I went through. Certain people will actually know that I've called myself Wardy coupon because they'll have me added in certain places and stuff. So, so yeah. Awesome. Game number one of the best 3. Did we introduce the players? I feel as though I've just been talking that I haven't. If we have already, I'm going to introduce them again because I can't remember, and it'll help bring me into the game. Bottom left hand side is KeeN, our blue Terran player. He did beat, he did lose to Classic, 0-2, so he's 0-1 today. He's got a match against Cyan left to play still. A little bit of a different order. Usually we would play KeeN Cyan first, I think. That would be the usual way to go about it. And then like Classics matches, then INnoVations matches, but bit of a different way of doing it. Anyway, so the bottom right hand side it is INnoVation, our red Terran player. Do let me know what's up, everyone. Let me know how you're all doing. Let me know how you're all feeling today. Let me know if you're enjoying the game so far. And stuff like this. You can imagine Wardy being Harry Potter for some reason. That's a new one. Alive, I think, looks a bit more like Harry Potter. He has the rounder glasses. Alright. Shave Esports, damn, you're ready for the cheesy G Fuel cast. Yeah, I'm super ready to be cheesy. I've been thinking, like, I was thinking on the train down of some, like, good puns I could make. That's the only one I've gotten to so far. As I'm going to see this Reaper popping up into the high ground. Both players here sort of opening a little bit differently. Reaper-based opening from INnoVation allows him to get a lot of scouting off. We'll see this Cloak actually research and put a Raven on the way. Himself back at home, he's going into this Cloak Banshee, something which this Hellion scouts. So both players getting scouts early against the double gas, one base play of each player. But from KeeN, it really is for now just a sort of defensive Raven. Now he goes, cancels that Cloak back at home. You can see in the production tab not there anymore. So he cancels the Cloak, allowing him to just try and fake INnoVation out. And INnoVation will probably make a Raven now after his Banshee. I think that's part of INnoVation's TvT build anyways, though. Like building a Raven after the Banshee and stuff like that. Now, as maybe seen this reactor about to finish up on the factory. Intrigued to see what jumps onto there. Maybe Raven, then Starport onto the reactor, Vikings, and then a bit of a switcheroo elsewhere. Nope, just going to be the racks on the reactor, at least for now. I mean, I guess he's going to get a few Marines out before the Raven finishes, so you could still swap elsewhere. We shall see. Anyways, Marines just going to do a little bit of damage onto this Reaper. Nothing too important. INnoVation waiting a little bit before he moves forward with this Banshee. Waiting for his Cloak to finish up. I imagine what he wants is that he doesn't expect there to be a Raven so early, right? He's going to come in here. He's going to start picking away at Marines. Thing is, I mean, you can have, two Vikings on the way, right? So he's going to be okay. He does actually pick up this SCV on the low ground. He's being very cautious with this. Does he see the Raven? I think he does. He's already starting to pull away. Could he auto turret it? He could try to. Vikings do start to get in range. Oh, Banshee turns around and then cloaks. Unfortunately, INnoVation cloaking up now doesn't really change anything. Tank and Vikings continue to come up then from KeeN. He's also got Stim coming into the game very early on. So, Stim coming in very early here. As across the map from INnoVation, well, we see a few SCVs just continue to mine away in the natural expansion. Siege Tank, Marines, of Raven all gathered together as well. His Rack's going to lift up off the reactor. There's a little bit of a switch from INnoVation that we're sort of expecting as well. He actually just puts Vax on the tech lab to the right side, so now he goes into Stim of his own. He's actually going to go 2 medevacs, so what he's going to go for here is that very classic sort of 2 tank, 8 marine drop that we've seen so much of lately. Now, one of the great ways that KeeN can defend this is the fact he does have good air control. And if he defends the natural with his ground units, the main with his air units, he should turn into a pretty good position where he can actually defend against this, because flying in, he should at least kill off one medevac, unless the Raven drops like a PDD or something, and it soaks enough of those Viking shots to allow those units to get in here. So let's find out what's going to happen. The two Marines are not going to see anything there, actually, from KeeN, so that's unfortunate. He actually has a lot of units on the map. Widowmine, 2 Marines, 2 more Marines. So a lot of units on the map, and not at home ready to defend. KeeN will begin to reposition his one of his tanks in towards the main base. As INnoVation will be looking for an opening, and he could just drop straight into the natural. Oh my god, here we go. The Viking's actually just going to pick away at the Viking first of all. Now the tanks begin to unload as well. He'll just fight these auto turrets. I mean, already the medevacs are going to go down, but he's still going to have a lot of units here. His tanks are siege. The Vikings will land as well, and they will get rid of these very easily, actually. In the end, this is a brilliant cleanup by KeeN. Very simple indeed. KeeN cleans up nice and easily, and no real problem at all for him there. So no real problem just there from KeeN, as we're going to be seeing these couple of Marines just moving forwards from, moving back for him. Really good defense early on, actually, as we're going to be seeing these units again just gathering up together. Combat shields comes in from KeeN now as well. Also to the left hand side, a couple more barracks starting on up. So a couple more ranks coming into play. And we're going to see one more medevac on the way from KeeN. So one more medevac popping out as well. Sorry, I feel like I've just said that the same thing like 3 times. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, KeeN defends, but he actually doesn't take that much of a lead. INnoVation with a third base already built in location, starting to mine from that. He's a little bit down in army supplies, a little bit later on the stim, and hence combat shields as well, but he's also got 1-1 against just +1. Okay, that's +1 armor as well, so KeeN does have double upgrades. A few seconds behind, that's not as much of a big deal as not having +1 armor on the way at all, and just going for a single upgrade instead of double. I mean, when you start your upgrades at like 7 minutes, generally you do want to go double upgrades rather than a single upgrade, because you do generally need to try and get as much up as you can. These 2 tanks and these Marines from INnoVation still just gathering up together, and again looking to see what they can get up to. A couple of mules drop down over to this right hand side as well, so a couple of mules are going to drop down here, and again 1 more upgrades continue coming from both. Combat shields will finish from KeeN as well, so that combat shield's about to finish up also as this Marine moves in towards this upper right base. Marine comes in, going to try and pick off one of these SCVs, and still just going to be KeeN continuing to do a little bit more damage with this single Marine right now. A couple of Marines coming in response from INnoVation, picks that Marine off, and we're just going to be seeing these couple of tanks from KeeN going to be coming up just out the front. So a couple of tanks coming up out the front, and going to be seeing KeeN just sitting down here as well on the third base. Armory is on the way up as well, +1/+1 upgrades from INnoVation coming on into play, as they are for both players very shortly. So again, that's not too substantial. I'm just blabbering nonsense, filling time, waiting for something a bit more interesting to happen. What can we talk about? Maybe the army being a little bit late here for KeeN. It's actually going to be pretty much bang on time, so that's actually not even an issue. I'm just making issues out of nothing. Where's KeeN's Marines? He's got 14 Marines against 28. It's actually the big difference in the game right now. The tank count's fairly even, but INnoVation is up about 10 Marines or so, which in a fight can actually be very substantial. So a little bit of an interesting few moments here as we see these Marines and tanks just pulling away over to the left hand side. Can actually siege up these tanks now towards the third base. A few more of these Marines from KeeN coming up to the top, and just again Marines, tanks, medevacs from INnoVation starting to set up out on the map here. A few more Marines from KeeN going to drop down. You'll see an SCV getting picked off. The turret gets killed as well. No cancel because it just got just happened so quickly, and the turret was so fresh. There's barely a chance to cancel unless you actually saw the medevac on the minimap already. So INnoVation turns it over before any serious damage gets done here. And actually, look at this. I mean, 70 workers to the 62, 77 to 71 army supply. Things looking very good right now for Inno. We're going to be seeing Marines, tanks still gathering up together. INnoVation going to go over to the left hand side and see what he can get up to. A lot of tanks sieged up on the third base right here. A lot of tanks sieged up on the third base. Actually going to unsiege, and again a few Marines going to be leading the charge. So a few Marines lead the charge, and it's just going to be seeing Marine tank medevac starting to move out into the center. Continue to pick away at these rocks, and we're going to be seeing more Marines as well from INnoVation. Just continue to move around, just defending against these drops. Both players were pretty on point with their 2-2 upgrades, neither of them slipping up at all, so the distance between the upgrade timings sort of stays the same as it was previously. As we see INnoVation positioning to protect his fourth base, and he actually took his third base up north, and that's something we can mention here. Well, we again just see players positioning with Marine tank out on the map. INnoVation took this third base up to the top to begin with, whereas KeeN took sort of the pocket third base. And the pocket third base, I feel, is the more obvious choice. It's much easier to defend. In fact, I can't think of a reason to take this third base unless you're not comfortable with your opponent maybe having a chance to push you. So, or like drop. Like I actually really don't like. Yeah, unless your opponent, you feel your opponent can push you too easily. It's very, very weird. Oh, INnoVation. He's going to trap this army. KeeN realizes that he's going to be in trouble if he sticks around. He lifts up, he backs away. Nice attempt by INnoVation. He actually might still cut this off as he stims up to the top side. Medevac boost is lost. He's going to find at least one Medevac kill. There it is, going down, but at the same time this drop comes back in towards the third base, so KeeN's still flying around looking for any opportunity he can get to just get more damage done. 10 workers killed here. As we're going to be seeing Marines from INnoVation pushing in and just picking up a bit more damage, but again, 10 workers lost. It's the sort of drops that KeeN needs at this point to keep him rolling. A few more Marines going down here as well. 2-2 upgrades about to finish up from KeeN as we're going to be seeing the 3-3 upgrades from INnoVation continue to roll on out as well. Straight into those upgrades, not missing a beat. Let's see if KeeN's on the same level. Right now, he actually doesn't have the minerals to start the 3-3. So that might be the kind of the beginning of the upgrade difference here, which we've been seeing if it develops at all. Yeah, some Marines, tanks, just moving down towards the south side. Another scan into the third base of INnoVation. KeeN just keeping an eye out on where he could maybe drop these 3 medevacs we just saw out on the map. There's a few Marines just stim forwards here, and again, 4 SCVs are found in trading for, trading out for 3 Marines. That's brilliant. INnoVation though, with a big drop in towards the main. He sees, KeeN sees it, but way too late. So the drop is already going to start coming in here. These tanks are going to siege up over here. They are indeed. Wow, I'm a little bit interested as to the idea behind this. We're going to be seeing, oh my god, this tank already is doing so much damage to them. These 2 tanks moving forwards. Well, it's an interesting one. INnoVation going to load up the rest of his tanks. Obviously, it's an awkward spot because he's going to be killing production if KeeN doesn't respond. Now, INnoVation got a drop in his own main base as well, which he has to deal with. As he comes in, though, he's supply blocking KeeN already. 45 supply up. This is going so much better for INnoVation than it is for KeeN. As he runs on in, these tanks will go down. Across the map, INnoVation cleans up as well. And now KeeN is 60 supply behind. A drop continues to pick away at more of these SCVs. But is it really enough here? Reactor is going to go down as well. INnoVation, just so many units all over the place. Wants to get rid of this Viking, gets rid of the Viking, actually kills off one more medevac just before the end there. The KeeN just does not have enough. As we see these Marines moving forwards, the last few Marines will go down. And we're just going to be seeing INnoVation again, just continuing to clean up. That's the GG from KeeN. Inno takes game number 1 of this best of 3 series. And again, he looks very good while doing so. He looks very good while doing so. GG's. INnoVation, not mute my microphone. It's actually the first time I've ever done that, like mute my mic while talking with the hotkey. I've done it before sometimes, like at the end or something, like at the end of a sentence when I'm going to break, but never when trying to go in games. So that's a new one for you guys. That's a new way Wardy can mess up slightly. Alright then, we set on up. We're already going to be seeing the second gas coming down for both players here as the barracks comes on up from both as well. So backs on the way up from both players. We set on up into this and we look to see how this goes. We see a little watchtower in the center of the map here on Whirlwind. If you guys didn't play, any of you guys in the chat who didn't play when Whirlwind was first in the map pool, or didn't watch StarCraft when Whirlwind was in the map pool at the start of Hearts, End of Wings of Liberty, that's actually really interesting. Who here started after Whirlwind was in the map pool? Whirlwind was a very popular map for a lot of reasons. So many great games happened on this map. It was really kind of the macro map, which was the solid macro map for like a good few months in the world of StarCraft 2 ladder and the SC2 tournaments. So many crazy games on this map, especially because it's a map where there's just so many bases. It's like harassment heaven. Like it's pretty crazy. Thank you very much once again, Mapney420, for another cheer 5 in the chat. Cheer 5s at a time. Yeah, this way, that's a cheer 20 at this point, man. It's like cheer 20 altogether. It adds up. These little cheers, they add up. You know what they say, every little helps. It really does. All adds up. Game 2 is going to be going into a very different startup from the last game. Both players, well, is it really? No, I don't think it is. I think it's very similar. I just read it as very different. KeeN actually going to go for the Reaper this time around, as well as INnoVation. So both players, neither player going to have the Hellion early. It's once again just going to be the fast starport coming into play, and Cloak Banshee's really making a resurgence with the Cyclones not being as powerful anymore. And I think that's why we're seeing this sort of Cloak Banshee play more so than Reaper Hellion again. Kind of at this sort of point. So interesting seeing so much of this sort of play style. I'm going to be seeing the starport is going to finish up in a few moments. We'll be able to move over to the tech lab very shortly here. And again, just look to see what else is going on. This Reaper moving down the left-hand side from KeeN. And we're going to see a couple of Widow Miners just on the way up from either player. Mirrored builds at this point. I mean, maybe slight differences in exact timings, but they're doing the exact same thing for the most part. For example, like the Banshee starts a little bit late for KeeN, and he's actually like, you know, that was actually it. Apart from that, it is actually being mirrored built so far. So, you know, bomb mirrored mining disruptions, very similar stuff. What are you guys saying in the chat? Snowdome 2000 didn't play back then, or watch back then. Deep Shorio didn't play back then. Started after with the Legacy of the Void betas as Envia. I actually imagine, because like Whirlwind was very early on Heart of the Storms, there must be quite a few people who even started watching during HOTS who probably didn't see this map. It's interesting. Interesting stuff. Alright, so just going to be seeing the Banshee moving towards the top side, and INnoVation just looking to see what is going on in these early stages. This is Cloak about to finish up. Actually, KeeN once again cancelled his Cloak, went into the Raven. So yeah, didn't actually bother with the Banshee. Did he bother with the Banshee at all? No, just went straight into the Raven. So a bit of an interesting one. You see this Banshee going across the map, doesn't do too much. Just back away pretty swiftly. Alright, I mean with the Raven out, Viking on the way, I mean it's probably best to keep this Banshee for later, and maybe wait for the kind of the Raven Viking to come across the map to attack or something. And then attack with the Banshee, or use the Banshee defensively for a while. I mean there's a lot of different ways to do it, to still get benefits out of this Banshee, without it immediately doing anything, you know, without it just flying in towards a Raven Viking combo. Final image, by the way, Fink's game for the Cheer 100. Subbed earlier, now cheering in the chat as well. Thank you so much for the Cheer 100. Thank you very much, appreciate it. You guys have been very kind today, very generous, all of you. Thank you for the support. I'm going to focus up on the game a bit more, guys. I appreciate I'm talking a little bit too much outside the game at this point, so let's focus up on the game. Look at differences here. INnoVation has 2 Vikings instead of 1 this time, as he once again goes into the exact same drop as he did in game number 1. So he goes into the exact same drop. As we're going to be seeing this Widow Mine moving forward here from INnoVation as well, just setting up. Okay, now I feel bad. Mabney420 cheers 200 in the chat. Thank you so much, Mabney420. From the 5 cheer 5s to the cheer 200s. Thank you so much, appreciate it. That's my last thing I say out of this game now. Now it's going to be game from here on out. So, extra gas went down here from KeeN, and now for INnoVation as well as he starts at third base. He has got stim INnoVation, so he is just going to go into, I mean, it is a gas-heavy composition, making medevacs and tanks and all of this at the same time, so 4 gases makes a little bit of sense. He's also trying to get stim up as well. And we've seen this third CC building up for INnoVation now also, as these 2 medevacs going to drop in towards the main, and ooh, Raven actually takes the first shot of the Vikings. I don't like that, because the turrets are going to come down anyways. They come out just in time. He drops on top and gets rid of one of these tanks here right away. And he gets rid of the other tank as well, as INnoVation will take the lead in the Viking war up in the skies. This is actually a very interesting fight, and INnoVation comes out very far ahead, because he still has units left over here. There's one medevac healing up towards the very end as Viking lands. It gets taken down. This tank finds one more kill. We'll maybe try and get an SCV or so. Just trades out, but 12 workers killed, and INnoVation once again finds himself taking the lead in the early stages of this game. So INnoVation takes himself a lead in the early stages here, and we're just going to be seeing this SCV coming over. Pops down a 3rd command center, so 3rd CC coming in, and these 3 Vikings and the Raven are going to come down the left-hand side of the map to see what's going to be happening next. So 3 Vikings and the Raven down the left, and try and get some counter damage done, maybe a few auto turrets on the mineral line. You know, little bits like this can maybe, you know, pull back a few worker kills to just keep KeeN in this to some extent. But man, the later 3rd base isn't going to help, and well, there you go, this auto turret, 4 or 5 workers, INnoVation doesn't really pull away. That could have been 6 if it target fired. And there's another one right now, that's already 5 if he gets 5 again. All of a sudden, INnoVation is really dropping down into similar worker count levels. 9 workers killed, just like that. 2 Raven auto turrets doing so much damage here in the early stages. Wow, so that definitely does keep KeeN in it to some extent. It's still kind of a deficit for him though. He's still playing from, well, 38 to 44 workers, you know, down in army supply, down in 3rd base timing. He's also not going to be starting +1 armor anywhere near as fast as INnoVation, so that's another advantage INnoVation takes as he cleans out this Raven and so the left-hand side just then. INnoVation also has this Widow Mine still in position around here. So though KeeN is looking around trying to find it. I think you may have seen it, just decides to back away. And see that third base just finished up, and combat shields will be finishing very shortly as well. So combat shields finishing soon. And yeah, I guess I mean, combat shields done for KeeN means that he has a bit of a time window he can maybe utilize here, but does he have enough units? I don't think so. Like, he has so few Marines. This wouldn't mind make sure to keep up with that tradition of low Marines. So for KeeN, blowing a few more of them up as they or just walk around and try and take a bit of map control. 2 Marines against 2 Marines on the middle of the map here. We'll see INnoVation stims forwards, but oh, it will actually be good. Wow. Stim actually makes a big difference, even though he went in there with less health, so that's that works out. Sensor Tower comes up. I mean, it is a large map, and drop play, we mentioned this in the TvP earlier, drop play in Whirlwind can be very effective. So if you set up the sensor towers early and just make sure that that's never going to become an issue, well, that's one very good way to set on up in this and to kind of go forwards from. As this tank is going to pull back up into the natural expansion, we'll just siege here in the next few moments. INnoVation is straight away into +2 attack. We'll see if his +2 armor is soon to follow. It is indeed. He never seems to forget these upgrades. So good at them. I mean, you expect pros to be good at remembering upgrades, but you know, you're thinking about the amount of times people have forgotten an upgrade and things like this, like during the course of the game. That said, I mean, I know these are kind of very passive games in comparison. You know, they're very, you know, sort of not really a lot is going on. It's very just sort of laid back. As you're going to see these Vikings can actually find these medevacs super early. The tank gets out the medevac that dies super early on. Oh, this medevac has a lot of Marines inside of it as it goes down. Wasn't unloading for the longest of times here. INnoVation's attack into this main is actually still going to be successful. It's crazy how much drops can do if they just get into position in the first place. And INnoVation gets cleaned out, but I still feel he traded pretty okay considering the situation. Income, you can just see for INnoVation has been way up for a long time. It's been bouncing back and forth a little bits in here and there, but for the most part, INnoVation with a much better economy army advantage. To INnoVation as well, you can see he lost a little bit more there than KeeN did. Wasn't the best of drops, but still traded better than I think he should have done, considering that he threw a sensor tower into Vikings and was then still dropping. You know, it was real bad. It was just a little bit of a messy drop. Anyways, a few of these Marines going to go down over on the watchtower, and INnoVation just pushes onto the map once again. His macro never ends. Marines, tanks joining up together, and they're going to be pushing over here in towards the center. A few Marines, a couple of medevacs overhead are going to be coming forwards and trying to push towards the middle, but INnoVation is here, so he cannot, and KeeN has to start thinking about how does he deal with his army if INnoVation does keep on moving forth. And he does move forward. He goes forwards right now and starts to think about moving towards the third base, it would seem, in the next few moments. So we're looking to go into this sort of direction here. Again, Marines and tanks from Inno just going to be continuing to gather. He has another set of units up the left-hand side, and I like this. Starting to split up his army. This is what makes it really, life really difficult for you. If your opponent's doing this, if they're splitting up their army and they're all over the place, it's so hard to respond correctly and split up the right amount of units to respond to each location and be in position in each location in time. Still plenty of sensor towers from KeeN. He's really saying, like, hey, I do not want to be attacked anytime soon. You stay out of my quadrant of the map, and I'll fight you when I'm ready to fight you. INnoVation maybe just disregards the fact that KeeN has so much vision. I mean, vision is a big thing though in the TvT, and that's the thing. With the vision that KeeN has, like, any attack INnoVation makes should be into a siege tank line, because with the siege tank line, it's the siege tank line should be able to move in time to respond to these things. Unless he stims into this third, I guess like he could stim in here and these tanks to the left, then he probably could get in here before too much happens. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to start moving forward. This isn't even a stimming, actually. I forget, tanks can't fly anymore. They're not super mobile. So actually there's going to be very few units over here. One single siege tank is going to go down, and that's actually all there is. One unsiege tank, well, that doesn't really help much at all. These SEVs will get massacred. At the same time, INnoVation takes position towards the fourth base, which is building for KeeN. 18 workers go down. The orbital probably going to go down as well as INnoVation chases in. He stims forwards, and that's a command center down, and KeeN is hurting all over right here as he struggles to find a way to really fight against this. INnoVation just going to back away. KeeN just going to type out. He realizes none of these fights are going his way at all. GG. And INnoVation takes game number 2. Just like that, he is going to be qualifying for the SGL playoff.